So welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be looking at using the GPS on the ID-52. So the GPS receiver has a number of functions associated with it, but the actual GPS data is only transmitted in DV mode, and we'll cover that in a short while. However, some of the features are still available in FM. So the primary aim of the video is to show you how to configure and use the GPS in DV mode, and we'll go through that step by step in a short while. So if not already in DR mode, you can press and hold the DR button, which is just down there, and it will take us into DR mode. So what can we do with the GPS? We can see our location, the coordinates, altitude and the locator, which is pretty handy if you're away from home. Somebody wants to know your locator, all you've got to do is pop into that screen and you can see your grid square. So when it's on, we can see the distance between ourselves and the receive station or a memory location. You can also report your location to the aprs.fi website that anybody can look at. You can also use it to find your nearest repeater. So that can be a D-star repeater, but also FM. Some people aren't aware that you can actually program FM repeaters into the DR mode. And there are other features such as location alarms and GPS logs. So if you actually want to display the GPS information on screen, you can put it in place of the clock. So if we go onto menu, go into set, find display, go into display, and if we try and find where it is, we should have you can see there's quite a few options in here. Single band display, so it's looks like it's on the last screen there. Go into that and we can ask for the GPS information. So I'll pop it on the screen and we can just hit menu and that'll take us out. So as you can see, it's giving us the current latitude, longitude and altitude. So I'll just quickly go through the options within the GPS menu itself. So if we press menu, come across to GPS, and I'll just scroll up to the top one. So you can see we've got GPS set. So here we can turn, I'll just drop into these modes here. So we've got the actual select, so that's whether it's the internal GPS or you've set a manual position. I'll go back a menu there. Various options here which we'll cover later on. We have TX mode. So this is where we can, I'll just go into that one. You've got the DPRS or NMEA. So DPRS allows 5 position formats, whether you want to class it as a mobile, a base station, set an object, item, or have weather input. So NMEA is the National Marine Electronics Association, and this is the most widely used standard for GPS data. However, I tend to use the DPRS and have it set as a mobile. Just come out of that screen. GPS information. So this will show the number of satellites and the lock, relative positions and your actual position. So GPS position will show your own position. The receive station, you'll find 2 pages for that. That's their direction and speed. Your memory position and if you're using it an alarm position, which will be covered later on. So within GPS memory, you can store locations there. So you can put some within different groups, which can all be relabeled. You can actually use these to save battery power if you want. Again, that'll be covered later. So we've also got GPS alarms. We can select different types here, the area that they cover. So again, that'll be covered later. There's a GPS logger function. So while you're out and about, it'll actually record where you are. That can be uploaded to an online map if you want. So GPS Auto TX. So when the GPS is enabled, it will send location data every time the PTT is pressed, unless this is enabled. So it's bad practice really to have Auto TX on, because each time there's a new position acquired, the radio will key up and send a short burst of data, and people will just hear ka-chunks on the reflector or repeater, whatever you connected to. So that one we should set off. Otherwise, as you can see, it's going to be keying up the radio on a fairly frequent basis. We just come back out to the normal screen. So we'll look at how to actually configure the GPS now. There are various options, and having had several radios, I think I've got it right now. So first of all, you're going to want to switch your GPS on. So you go into menu, GPS set, GPS select and on, which you can see this one is already set to that. The next we have the GPS option. I'll just go up to the first option here. So as you can see, SBAS is set to on. GLONASS is set to off. I have the power save set to 1 minute. You can extend that longer if you wish. And in satellite information, you've just got like GPS only. You don't want all the satellites if you're not using them. So if we come out of that screen, and we're now going to go into TX mode. So this is where I'm actually using DPRS. I'll just go through the options that I have set on here. So the unproto address, this is a default one in the radio, so you don't want to alter this, otherwise information won't go through out onto APRS.FI. So again, no need to change that, just make sure it is set to API52, D star and a star on the end. And if we go down to TX format, so this is how I'm using my radio. You can see we've got the position and a number of options in here. So symbol, I've actually got it set to a person. So whatever's highlighted when you come out is the one it will use. SSID is if you're on APRS.FI and the information window that pops up on the radio, you'll see a call sign with a dash and a number after it. So if you've got multiple radios, you can have a different one set for each one, whether it's like an ID-52 100 in the car, or if you got another handheld, ID-51 and the 52, etc. So in my instance, I've got the -8 selected. So the comment we have here is the one that goes out with your GPS string onto APRS.FI. It's different comment to the one that's actually set in the radio in my station. So it's not the one that goes out on the bottom of the screen on the radio. So if we go into that, I've got mine set to my name and the radio. The one below is a nickname. Again, whichever one is selected, when you go back, it's the one that will be used. And again, to edit these or to add one, you can just press the quick key, edit, and you can then add another one in, or you can edit an existing one. Again, when you've finished, select and come out. I didn't make any changes, so it didn't ask if I wished to overwrite. So that's the one I want. VFO to come back. Just pop into there. Again, I've got timestamp set to off. Don't need altitude. That's set to off. So I'm just pushing out purely in a position. Again, I can have my course and speed. If I was, say, like a fixed station, I could put the power, height and gain of the antenna. So course and speed, I'll just come back out to keep that selected. So that is the last option in there. If we come back, if you're an object, you can set that up. So you can select the name, the type, symbols, comments, positions, etc. But again, they can be set up in a similar way to the position that I've just shown you how to use. Just keep on coming back, you can just see those options. So that is setting up the GPS. So again, this is now enabled, as I said, in GPS set, and select. Just make sure that is on. Just hit menu, we come back, and you can see just up there's a little satellite picture. Initially, when you switch the radio on, that will flash just while it's acquiring a lock on the satellites. And once locked, it's a nice steady indicator, so you know that you've got a position. And also, if you've got the GPS info enabled, you'll see it on the screen there. So just as a final check, I'll just pop back into it. GPS. Auto TX, and that is set to off. So our location information is only going to go out with each transmission that we make, and that should then go over to the APRS.FI website. Also onto the screen of another radio, but somebody will actually get your location and the distance from them and a bearing. If for any reason it's not going out onto the APRS.FI website, just double check those settings. But also, if you're using like Pi-Star, there is a setting within that, which is the APRS host enable. You want to make sure that is on, and I'll just provide a screenshot of the settings from my own hotspots on here. So I'll just cover some of the options in a little bit more detail. So if we go into menu, GPS, let's go back up the screen there to GPS information. You can see the satellite representation. So obviously we can see that we've got 8 satellites that are visible. It's got our location and altitude. So the light blue circle represents a weak signal and the darker blue indicates a strong signal. I'm not sure if you can see it. You should be able to see it. There's a number in the middle and that denotes the type. So numbers 0 to 32 are GPS, 33 to 65 are SBAS, 71 to 96 GLONASS, and QZSS are 193 to 202. And then the circular lines around the compass indicate the elevation angles of the satellites. So the outermost is 0 degrees, next line in is 30 degrees, the next 60 degrees, and the very centre is 90 degrees. So SAT is the number of satellites that's actually tracked on the image to the left. So this will vary depending on, if you're indoors or if you're outdoors in clear line of sight of the sky. And you've got your own information displayed along at the bottom. To actually get that information, you need at least 4 satellites to start displaying that. So we've mentioned the memories in the radio. You can use these to actually save you some battery power. You can set your current location to memory. And instead of using the internal GPS, you can set a memory location. You can also use memory locations as part of the alarm system. Although I've never actually used it. You can have a position set, and when you're getting nearer to it, it'll alert you. Again, I'll cover that later on. So to add the memory, you can do this manually by getting the latitude and longitude from somewhere and entering it in, or whilst at the location you can set it into the memory. So we'll go GPS memory. You can see I've just got the one group set up here. These can be labelled. If you wish to edit the name, you select an empty one, edit name, and you can put your group name in there using the normal method. I'll just come back. You can also edit that. Again, quick edit name will take you in, make your changes. I won't actually do that at the moment. I'll just quit out. You can also clear the contents. You have that option too. Again, quick, and delete all in group. So you can select the group that you want. You'll see that's blank. If you want to add, press the quick key, add. You can select that, give it a name, scroll down, again select that. You'd enter the latitude, confirm it, come out, longitude, altitude. If you know that, you can enter that. Eventually come down and write it. You can keep it in the current group, or if you've changed your mind you can add it to another, or if you are editing a memory location, again you can change the groups here too. I'll just quit out of that. So to enter from your current position, so say if you wanted to save power, go into the GPS, up to set. We're going to say manual position. Press quick. So here we can capture it from the GPS, or you can select one from one of the memories. So here I'm just going to say capture from GPS. It's got the current location. Okay, I'll go back a screen. We then say GPS select. and we can then switch to manual. Try it the other way around. The GPS obviously isn't on, and therefore it won't capture. And when we come out, you actually see the GPS indicator has gone off. But since we're set to manual, it will send your fixed position out on each transmission. So that'll save you a bit of battery power. If you wanted to select somewhere local, place of interest, if you don't want to use your actual home location, go in GPS, set, manual position, set from GPS memory. If I go into a group I've already created, I have got one for home. Again, if I want to save battery power, or I can select the local castle. It can be a bit of a talking point if somebody looks at the GPS and sees that. Overwrite the manual position, the current one, so we'll say yes to that. And again, the information has changed there. I'll just pop out, and that is back to the ordinary operating mode. So again, each transmission, that's just going to go out to the receiving station, come up on their display, and also go out onto APRS.FI. So I'm going to demonstrate the alarm feature on the radio. If we go into menu, GPS alarm, this is where you can switch it on. Slightly different on some of the radios. So on this one, we go into the alarm select. We've got RX, so that's the receive station. So when it comes within the specified distance, the radio will alert you. We'll go on to the alerts in a minute. You can select the group. So if you're within range of the group of locations, again, the radio will locate you, or you can go on an individual memory location. So just for the demo, I'm going to select the receive station, because I can get the radio to alert by keying up another handheld in a similar position. Just show you the other options here. So the alarm area for the group, because you've got more than one location in that group, you can set the distance. Alarm area for the receive station or a memory. So we've got limited, which is within 0.5 kilometre, and you'll get like notifications in a short period of time. You get like 3 bleeps repeated close together, and if you have extended, that's 1 kilometre, where you only get 1 bleep, or it's actually 3 bleeps close together. So it's only one occurrence of that, or both. So as it's like the target's moving towards you, at 1 kilometre you get 3 short bleeps. When they're within 0.5 kilometre, you get 3 short bleeps repeated 3 times. You'll hear the bleeps in a minute when I just generate something coming in off the other radio. So we've got it set to RX. We've got all 3 on, and we just go back to the normal screen. I'll key up another radio, which has got a location set to same area here. There you go, you can see that as the handheld. This radio is set as G1KEA-8. So it's saying G1KEA-7 is within range, and you heard the multiple bleeps there indicating it's within 0.5 kilometre. Personally, I can't really see a use for it, but that's how it works. And to clear that off the screen, you can just press menu, go in, GPS alarm, and just set that back off to off, and back onto the main screen. And then one of the final options, we've got the GPS logger. If we go into GPS, scroll down to logger, again on or off, I won't bother switching it on. The interval of how often you want it to acquire a position, and what data types you want recording. Never really got into those. They are used on the NMEA setting. If you use that, I've used that in the past on the ICE2820 when configuring the GPS for that. Again, that was a while ago, so I can't remember each one and what data's passed on them. And that's just running as a logger only, not the radio. And back out to the main screen. So other uses of the GPS, we've got a near repeater feature, which is pretty handy if you're out and about with the handheld. It's also pretty good on the ID-5100 if you're out mobile. So obviously you have to have your GPS enabled for this, the internal one. You wouldn't want to use it off a fixed location really. So if you scroll down to your from field, select it, and you get the option here, repeater list, near repeater and TX history. Obviously if you wanted to change it from hotspots to another hotspot or a local repeater, you'd go into repeater list. But if we select near repeater and watch what happens when we go into that, you get the option of selecting all repeaters, DV, so D star, or FM ones. So for this we're going to select all and see what happens. So it's pretty quick. So it's shown nearest at the top, so that's analog FM because we did ask for all. So it's got the distance and the bearing shown on the bottom screen. Repeater call sign. You scroll down, see another one there, the sister repeater. Coventry, these are analog repeaters. We haven't actually got any D star repeaters around. This one is D star with all, so we've actually got two entries for it. Just go back and show you that. If we look for DV repeaters, there we go. We'll select it and you see the different screens. So it's picked up the repeater, it's kept the fields, CQ, CQ, CQ. Just go back in and we're going to select FM. Some people aren't aware that DR mode can be used for FM repeaters. So it searched those pretty quick. Select the local repeater. See, the one thing it does do, you can see it's changed to FM mode. It's got the duplex shift, tone squelch. Obviously not being digital, we don't have a to field as such. Purely got the repeater information in there. So yeah, pretty useful for finding local repeaters if you're travelling around. But you do need to make sure that your repeater list is kept up to date. I'll just put that back onto my hotspot. Go up onto repeater list. local hotspot. There you go, back into D-Star mode. So the D-Star side of the radio is quite involved, obviously the setting up of it. You can do it with the software, but if you've just got the radio and you want to get on, just get it connected to a hotspot, sometimes it's a lot easier just to do it manually, those few settings. So yeah, as I say, those are the longer videos. Anything from now on should be fairly simple. I'll try and keep them short. Any little tips for the radio if you want to change the display size, color formats, we can do that. You can inverse the video, increase the size of the text, but we'll keep that to another one. Picture messaging, quite a bit to that one, so that could be lengthy, but again, try and keep it as simple as possible and nice and easy to understand for you. So if you hit like and subscribe, you'll be notified of any new content, and thanks for watching.